ॐ श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः Venkataramanji, go ahead and unmute yourself. So let us chant from 21 onwards. Nirashiryat chittatma
निराशीर्यत चित्तात्मा
yakta sarva parigraha
त्यक्त सर्वपरिग्रहः
shariram kevalam karma
शारीरं केवलं कर्म
kurvannapnoti kilbisham
कुर्वन् आप्नोति किल्बिषम्
yadrichalabhasantuष्टः
यदृच्छा लाभसन्तुष्टः
द्वन्द्वातीतो विमत्सरः
द्वन्द्वातीतो विमत्सरः
समसिद्धावसिद्धौ च
समसिद्धावसिद्धौ च
कृत्वापि न निबध्यते
कृत्वाभिन निबध्यते
गतसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य
कदसङ्गस्य मुक्तस्य
ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः
ज्ञानावस्थितचेतसः
यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म
यज्ञायाचरतः कर्म
समग्रं प्रविलीयते
समग्रं प्रविलीयते
ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः
ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः
ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं
ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं
ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यम्
ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यम्
ब्रह्म कर्म समाधिना
ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना.
And we will read the Bhaashyam also. Brahma Arpanam.
Brahma Arpanam.
Yena Karanena.
Yena Karanena.
Brahmavit.
Brahmavit.
Havihi.
Havihi.
Agnau Arpayati.
Agnau Arpayati.
Tad Brahma Eva.
Tat Brahma Eva.
Iti Pashyati.
Iti Pashyati.
Asya.
Tasya
Atma Vyatirekena.
Atmavyaratikena.
Abhavam Pashyati.
Abhavam Pashyati.
Yatha.
Tatha
Yatha.
Yatha
Shuktikayam.
Shuktikayam
Rajata Bhavam Pashyati.
Rajata Bhavam Pashyati.
Tat
Tat
Yate.
Yathe
Ahameva.
Ahameva
Arpanamiti.
Arpanamidhi.
Yatha.
Yatha
Yad Rajatam.
Yat Rajatam.
Tat
Tat
Shuktika Eva Iti.
Yuktikayava Idhi.
Brahma Arpanamiti.
Brahma Arpanamidhi.
Asamaste Pade.
Asamaste Pate.
Yat
Yat
Arpana Buddhya.
Arpana Buddhya
Grihyate.
Bhrikyate
Loke.
Loke.
Tad Asya Brahma Vidaha.
Tat Asya Brahmavidaha.
Brahma Eva Ityarthaha.
Brahma Eva Ityarthaha.
Tatha.
Tata
Tatha.
Tata
Brahma Havihi.
Brahma Havihi
Avirbuddhya.
Avirbuddhya
Grihyamanam.
Grihyamanam.
Tad Brahma Eva Asya.
Tat Brahma Eva Asya.
Okay, we will stop with that. So, we have been looking at this particular shloka, Brahmarpanam Brahmavihi. So, as we saw last time, this shloka, Krishna is using a yaga, a agnikaryam, a homa, which means a fire ritual is going on. And using that ritual, Krishna is explaining, unfolding this Brahma Tattva, that this action, that entire action, and everything involved with that action of doing this yaga karya, yajna karya, that everything involved with action is Brahma Eva. He's making a statement. And so we are studying the Bhaashyam, Shankara's commentary. So Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande. So all these months we've been chanting this. Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande. So this is Bhashyam. So finally we got to see what Bhashyam is. And Sutram we have not seen yet. That refers to Brahma Sutram. And Brahma Sutra, Sutram refers to Brahma Sutram, which refers to Veda Vyasa, and Veda Vyasa wrote Brahma Sutra. So therefore, Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande. So those two people, Vyasa and Shankaracharya, who wrote the Brahma Sutram and the Bhashyam respectively. And to those two we salute. That is what it says, I salute. So that Bhashyam we are studying here. We have been indirectly studying the Bhashyam all these months, but we are actually looking at the Bhashyam itself directly. So it's a big blessing for us. So last time we saw this Brahmarpana. Arpana means that by which the offerings are made. So that ladle or even the mantra that is chanted while offering, both are called Arpanam. So Shankara is giving that definition. That by which something is offered is called Arpanam. And that Arpanam is Brahma. We saw that last time. And just a reminder, he gave an example there. Yatha Shuktikayam Rajata Bhavam Pashya. Okay. So, and before that, tasya atma vyatirekena abhavam pashyati. So I did not explain it last time, but in satsang somebody mentioned that I somehow skipped these two lines, got skipped, because in this iPad the screen was moved up, so I somehow went off from the third line. So anyway, so those who missed that, I'll repeat it. Yatha shuktikayam rajata bhavam pashyati. So he's giving the example. How does the person see the ladle as Brahma? It is not just the ladle is Brahma. If somebody says, then Shankara is saying yatha. So just as the silver coin that is seen on the beach when you're walking is nothing but shell. Silver coin is shell, just like silver coin is shell. So we saw this example last time. When two objects are said, A is B, when somebody says A is B, then if the two objects are identical, then A is B means what? Something like water is pani. Suppose somebody says that water is pani. Somebody doesn't know English, they know only Hindi. Hey, water बोलते हैं क्या ये water? Hey, water तो पानी है. So when they say that, what is the meaning of that? Hey, water and pani are just two words that just happen to be in two different languages. Water is pani. Water is pani. जो पानी पीते हैं ना घर में वो पानी है. Water. Oh, water. अच्छा अच्छा. So that is water. Unless that person is referring to something else. Oh, hey, pani lao, pani, pani lao. So that pani is different pani, right? So that means something they have an understanding. Pani lao. So that's some other colored water, colored drink. So that we are not worried about. So water is pani. Water is pani. A is B. Identical. So that is one type of A is B. Correct? One type of A is B. It's called Aikya Samanadhikaranyam. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. But at least just there are 4 types I'm going to talk about right now. When somebody says object A is object B, what does it mean? That's what we are analyzing. Okay. Okay. First is what? Water is pani. There's synonyms. There's synonyms, 2 words. And any synonyms you pick up the dictionary, and all synonyms you can say. Like for example, okra is lady's finger. In India they say lady's finger. In America they say okra. 2 words which mean exactly the same object. Correct? Okra is lady's finger. I don't think in America, if you say lady's finger, I don't know what they will assume. I've not tried it. You should ask somebody to try it. Go to the grocery store and say, where do you keep lady's finger? And you should see the expressions on their faces. So, there in that example, 2 words which mean exactly the same object, which refer to the same object. This is the first type of A is B statement. First type, Aikya Samanadhikaranya. Aikyam. Aikyam means identical. Identity. There's no difference between these two. Nobody has to even say it. They know it very clearly. Okay. Next is Visheshana Vishesha Samanadhikaranyam. Adjective noun relationship. Adjective noun. So in Sanskrit, from a grammatical perspective, there is no difference between an adjective and a noun. Okay. Suppose I say Neelam Utpalam. It's a phrase that Shankara uses. Okay. In somewhere else he uses. So I'm using that same word. We can give any number of examples. Neelam Utpalam, blue lotus. Excuse me, blue lily. Utpalam means lily. Correct? Neelam Utpalam. Blue lotus. So here the word Neelam is a noun in grammatically, and Utpalam also is grammatically a noun. Means they have the same vibhakti, everything. But here that noun, first word Neelam, even though grammatically it's a noun, it serves the function of an adjective. Correct? Blue lotus. In English, you don't call blue a noun. Blue means adjective, period. Nobody says blue is noun, correct? But in Sanskrit, there is no difference between adjective and noun. Adjective and noun, two words are in the same vibhakti, same case, and then we have to decide what kind of, is it an adjective, is it a noun? In this case, it's an adjective. It declines like a noun, it behaves like a noun, but it's an adjective in our understanding. Okay. Blue, blue lily, Neelam Utpal. So here it is not Aiki Samanadhikaranyam. It is not like Pani is water. It is not like lady's finger is okra. It is adjective. Neelam Utpalam. Adjective, noun, relationship between these two words. This is the second type of A is B interpretation. Correct? Everybody is with me so far, correct? Yeah? Yeah. Good. We are analyzing the statement. If somebody says A is B, what can it mean? These are two meanings. One is identity. Second is adjective noun relationship. What about third one? Third one is a projection relationship. Like this Shivalinga is Shiva. This Linga is Shiva. Somebody says this Linga is Shiva. The child doesn't know this. And the mother is saying, this is called Lingam and it is Shiva. It is Shiva, like that. And child says, oh, Shiva. Now tell me, what is it Aikyam? Is it identity? Shiva and Linga? It's not identity. Linga is an object. It's a Bana Lingam. It's a elliptical stone object that is there in the puja room. Okay. It's clearly a stone object to which we can do Abhishekam. But Shiva is not that stone object. Shiva is all pervasive. He is the deity of resolution, etc. We have, that is the idea of Shiva. So these two cannot be identical. It's not identity. Is it a adjective noun relationship? No, it's not an adjective noun relationship. Then what is it? It means what? Hey, this is a stone object, but when you see it, you should see it as Shiva. You should see it as Shiva. Look at it as Shiva. Like what? Like I show you a piece of cloth, and it has all this. It has three bands: saffron color and white color and green color, and then it has a little chakra in between. Suppose I show you that cloth. What will you say? It's a flag. It's a flag. Flag is one object, but then you salute this. This piece of cloth is salutable. And why it is salutable? Because the entire country is projected on that flag. Correct? Entire country. That's why we stand up and then we salute the flag. Because it represents the entire people, the millions of people it represents, the entire country, what the country stands for, everything it represents. So you project the country on a piece of cloth. Correct? That is why disrespecting that piece of cloth qualifies for punishment. And that is why in America often sometimes they do this. When somebody wants to attract attention to himself, that fellow will go burn a flag. So all front page news, flag burning. And so what? Let him burn the flag. No, he cannot burn the flag. It's not correct. And so it hurts people's sentiments. And so that is the third type of A is B interpretation. Third type is what? A projection. Upasanayam samanadhikaranyam. If you are looking for a Sanskrit word, upasanayam. Upasana means what? You have to think, you have to project, you have to see that object as something else. You see Lingam, all right, but you also see Shiva in it. That is the meaning. Correct? Now, fourth one. This is the silver coin is shell example. Fourth. Silver coin is shell. This is the fourth example, which is called Badhayam Samanadhikaranyam. Okay. An identity that is gained by negation. Negation. Snake is rope. Somebody says, snake is rope. How can snake be rope? Snake and rope are two different objects. Snake cannot be rope. And if you look at snakes and you assume it to be a rope, you know what problems you can have, right? And you you can't say, oh, it's a nice rope, very beautiful rope, and it's very big in the front, and it tapers like this. Oh, and it even moves. Look at the rope, it moves. Suppose you say this, and the child goes and picks it up, because the children don't, they believe everything parents say, and goes picks it up. Doesn't work. Nobody will say that. So snake is rope does not fall in that category, and they are not synonyms. Okay, so it's not synonym. Is it an adjective? Is snake an adjective to rope? No, it's not an adjective to rope. What about third type? You have to look upon the snake as a rope or rope as a snake. Well, in the looking upon example, Linga Shiva example, there is a deliberate superimposition. Deliberate, correct? You know Lingam and you know Shiva, and then you look upon the Lingam as Shiva. Deliberate. Here, there is no deliberation involved. You only look at snake. You only see snake. You don't see the rope, correct? You don't see the rope. So you already projected the snake on the rope, and it is a snake. And then somebody has to tell you, the snake that you are looking at is a rope. Correct? Oh, is that right? My God, what a mistake I made. Okay, there it's a mistake. Why it's a mistake? Because it's not deliberate. It was done, it is a projection by mistake, a superimposition by mistake. So that is the category in which this example is given. Yatha Shuktikayam Rajatam. Shuktika means shell, Rajat means silver. And so in the shell, just as in the shell, there is silver coin, and the wise person does not see silver coin on the shell. Sees the shell exactly as it is, even though there is a perception of silver coin. Keep that in mind. In brackets, we must add that. Okay, so that is the example. Okay, look at the way our rishis have analyzed all this. Amazing, is it not? You know, this is nothing new in this. This is very easy to follow. Nothing big. So some of you may get looking at all these Sanskrit and all that, they may get a little apprehensive. No need to get apprehensive. All these months also we were looking at Sanskrit. Krishna also was talking in Sanskrit only. All those were Sanskrit words, by the way. This is not a new language. This is also the same language. So there's no need to feel apprehensive, and we can be proud. We can be happy that we are doing this. And otherwise, I would have done the same thing without reading all these lines. Same thing. Okay. Then tasya atma vyatirekena abhavam pashyati. So what does the wise person see? The wise person abhavam pashyati sees the absence of what? Tasya. Tasya means arpanasya, ladle, of the ladle. Ladleasya abhavam pashyati. Sees the absence of the ladle. Absence of the ladle means what? Atma vyatirekena. We saw that. The ladle depends for its existence on Atma. That is what Shankara is saying. The ladle is not separate from Atma. Okay, that's a bold statement there. And so we saw all this. This is just really a review of what we did in the last class. Okay, now Tatha uchyate brahma eva arpanamiti yatha yat rajatam tat shuktika evati. We've covered all that. Okay, and yad arpana buddhya grihyate loke tad asya brahma vidaha brahma eva ityartha. Okay, so that which the world, the people in general look upon as a ladle, the wise person looks upon as Brahma. Okay, we saw until that in the last class. Next line, we also chanted this one. So Brahma Havihi Yat. Now he's taking that next Brahma Havihi. Those two words he's taking. Brahma Havihi Yat Havir Buddhya Grihyamanam Tat Brahma Eva Asya. Okay. Tat Brahma Eva. That also is Brahma. That is Brahma only. That is nothing but Brahma. Okay. That is nothing but Brahma. What is that? What is that which is Brahma? That, well, that Havihi, that which is being offered, the ghee that is being offered, the lotus seeds that are being offered, the samit, the sticks, branches, they have a special tree where they actually break all these branches from that tree and then they offer it in the yajna, in the yaga, and that is called havis. That havis is Brahma Eva. That's what he's saying. And what is he's explaining what that havis is. Havis is yad havir buddhya grihyamana. That which people generally look at as havis, as an offering, as ghee or whatever, that ghee, that small branch is Brahma Eva, is also Brahma. Okay. For whom is that Brahma? Asya. Asya. For this. For this means what? For him or her. Means what? That muktasya, jnaninaha. Because here the context is jnani. And the context is not just a jnani, but a jnani who is not a sannyasi. Why? Because a sannyasi cannot do a fire ritual. Correct? Sannyasi cannot, no karma, he or she is free from karma. Therefore, all the karma that the Vedas says we should do is also taken away by the same Veda. Sannyasa. Therefore, the sannyasi is called Niragnihi, one who is free from all fire rituals. So a sannyasi can watch a fire ritual, but a sannyasi will never do a fire ritual. Okay? But since the fire ritual yaga is explained here, it implies that that person is wise, but the person is a grahastaha, not a sannyasi. Can be a brahmachari also, but brahmachari also cannot really do a fire ritual. Therefore, person must be a married person. Correct? Look at the inference here, married person. So grahastha sannyasi. Correct? So that asya refers to grahastha sannyasinaha, grahasthasya, grahastha jnaninaha. The wise person looks upon that havis as Brahma also. Okay. Now, let's read the next one. Next couple of lines. So, Bhavani. Yeah. Right. Tatha Brahmagnau
iti
samastam padam yatra huyate. Wait a minute. No, I think Agnihi api Brahma eva yatra huyate. We'll read the next one also. Brahmana kartra Brahma eva karta ityarthaha. Yeah. So he is now moving on to the second quarter of this shloka, Brahmagnau. Okay. So let's see. Tatha Brahmagnau iti samastam padam. That's a technical thing he's saying. Last time we talked about this samastam padam. Some words are, it's one word, but really it is composed of more than one word. Okay. So like Paramatma. Paramatma is one word. Correct? One word. But it has the word param in it and it has the word atma in it. So param cha asau atma cha paramatma. It is atma and it is also param, limitless, and therefore Paramatma. That which is Atma and that which is Param is called Paramatma. That is the meaning of the word Paramatma. So he's saying here, this Brahma Gnau, that word is a compound word. Earlier, what did he say? For Brahmarpanam, if you recall, Asamastam Padam, like that, Asamaste Pade, like that he said. They are two separate words, he said. Okay, we are not going to discuss too much about this. It's just a technical thing. Okay, next. Agnihi api Brahma eva. Agnihi api Brahma eva. Okay, so very simple now. Agnihi api, fire also is Brahma. We're not going to stop with this ladle and with this oblation ghee, and fire also is Brahma eva. And Shankaracharya explains yatra huyate. What is that fire? He is explaining where you are offering that havis, where that havis is offered. Havis is obviously offered in the fire. So he is just making it clear for us. In case we are not sure where the fire is, don't worry, I'll explain it to you. That into which you offer the ghee, that is called the fire that we are talking about. He's saying that. Okay. So yatra huyate. So therefore, how to rearrange this sentence? Yatra huyate saha agnihi api brahma eva. Correct? So that the fire into which the oblations are offered, that is also Brahma. Okay, that's pretty straightforward there. Next, he moves on to the next one. Brahmana hutam. So, Brahmagno, Brahmana hutam. The last part of the first line he's taking now. Brahmana. Brahmana, he just gives one word. Kartra. He says Kartra. So Sanskrit students should get an idea now what Kartra means, right? So Kartri, so Karta, Kartaro, Kartaraha, Kartaram, Kartaro, Kartaraha, and then what? Kartra, Kartrubhyam, Kartrubhi. So Tritiya Vibhakti, it is instrumental. Third case. By the Karta, by the Karta, by the Karta. So sentence is over. Brahmana Kartra. That's it. The sentence is over. We should add. By the Karta, Yagaha Kriyate. The ritual is done. The ritual is done by the Karta and Brahmana, who is nothing but Brahma. The doer, the person who does it, is also Brahma. That is the meaning of this one word, Brahmana. Correct? Brahmana means by Brahma. That is the literal meaning. And Shankara says by Kartra, by the Karta, by the doer, by the agent, by the Yajamana, Yajamanena. Okay, by the one, the person for whom this entire setup is done, by that person. That person is also called Brahma. And therefore he says next, Brahma eva karta ityartha. Brahma eva karta. So that means that person who is doing this ritual is also Brahma. That is the meaning. Ityartha means that is the meaning. That is the meaning. That is what you must finally infer from the word Brahmana. Correct? Everybody is with me so far, correct? Yeah? So remember the runaway train, right? So I don't want to get carried away by this. So we just want to, check. They do this check periodically. So fairly straightforward. Brahmana is one word. In English, you can't have a sentence with just one word. Not possible. But in Sanskrit, it's possible. And that too, when Shankaracharya writes, it's very much possible. Brahmana. And then we have to supply all these words. So Brahmana Kartra. So by the Brahma, by the agent of action who is Brahma, the ritual is done. Okay? That is the complete sentence. Okay. Brahma eva karta ityartaha. Okay. Okay. Now, let's read the next one. Okay. Narasimha Prasad. So I like this system where we make a list of people who are going to chant. So that way, in the middle of the class, we are not looking around. Okay, good. Yat tena
Yat tena
hutam
hutam
havana kriya
havana kriya
tad brahma eva
tat brahma eva
yat tena gantavyam
yat tena gantavyam
phalam
palam
tad api brahma eva.
tad api brahma eva.
Yeah. So he's moving to the next one. The next one is hutam. Brahmana hutam. Brahmana is one word which refers to the doer of the ritual, the performer of the ritual. That person is Brahma. That is the meaning of that. Then hutam. Shankara is interpreting it differently. So hutam is separate word which refers to something. What does it mean? Yat tena hutam havana kriya. Okay, havana kriya. He's saying hutam means what is done, what is offered, and that entire process. That entire process, starting from the time you wake up and you take a shower and you come here, you prepare all the materials, and the kriya is done, and all the panditas have come, and you're sitting down and you've started it, and it goes on, and then you finish it, and then you give dakshina to all. That entire process is called havana kriya. Shankara is saying hutam. Therefore, yat tena hutam. Hutam means that process done by whom? Tena, by that person, which I just explained. He says yat tena hutam. That which is done by that person. Okay, that process is called havana kriya. Hutam can mean. So that's the meaning that Shankara is giving here. Tad Brahma eva. That also is Brahma. That is nothing but Brahma. Correct? That entire process is also Brahma, he says. Then he moves to the next one. Brahma eva tena gantavyam. Yat tena gantavyam phalam tad api Brahma. So that's the third quarter, correct? Brahma eva tena gantavyam. That third quarter. The first part of the second line he's explaining. Yat tena gantavyam phalam tad api Brahma. Okay. Gantavyam phalam. He's translating the word. He's explaining the word gantavyam as phalam. Phalam means result. Fruit. Fruit means result. Correct? You know, phalam no. What phalam means? Result. The result is also Brahma, he says. Now, what is the result of this ritual? What do you get out of doing all this? What do you get out of sitting in front of this fire and offering all this? Indraya swaha idam namama. Varunaya swaha idam namama. Prajapataye swaha idam namama. Like this, you could keep on chanting, keep on offering. What do you get out of it? Well, adrishta palam. Adrishta palam is there. Adrishta palam means punyam. Punyam is there. And okay, somebody in the family is not well. Okay. So a lot of mental disturbance is there. Okay. And so they do a Soma Yaga. So Soma. So the mind is connected to the moon. Chandra Devata. Chandra is the Devata of the mind. Therefore, what they will do is you do a yaga where the moon is invoked. The moon is a presiding deity. The moon is invoked in this yaga, and then you propitiate the moon into this yaga and offer everything to you. To the moon. Chandra Devata. Chandra Devata. Moon Devata. Moon day. Monday. Moon day became Monday, I think. Somebody has to research into this and find out what is the, etymology and what is the root, history behind this Monday. So moon day. Here Soma Vasara, we say Soma. Soma is Chandra, moon. So then that moon is invoked. Chandra Devata is invoked. And then Chandraya Swaha Idam Namama. Like that, the prayers are chanted. Mantras are said. And why do they do this? Well, for our own well-being. And of course, punya also, if everything is okay, still if you do, then what? Well, you get even more punya and for a future life. Swami Paramarthandaji says, you've done everything you can, and time is passing. I'm 50, then I'm 60, then I'm 70. Then then the realization occurs. You know what? My wife is not going to change. My husband is not going to change. They are going to be nagging me like this. My children, of course, they are gone. They are old, and I mean, they never listened to me when they were at home. Now also they don't listen to me, so they are gone. And in India means these roads will not change. The politicians will not change, and this governance system will not change. So nothing is going to change. So suddenly this realization comes. Oh my God. I thought I was going to change everybody, I got married, so now I can change my spouse. And this was the idea with which I came, and she will listen to me, he will listen to me. Nobody listens to me. Okay, this is the realization after so many decades of living. Then what? Okay, I didn't make it here. At least I should make it in heaven. I should go to heaven at least, right? So everybody is going to heaven. I also want to go to heaven. Therefore, that palam gantavyam, he says it's Swarga. It's the heaven where people want to go. Finally, at least let me do all my rituals properly. So at least Bhagavan will give me a place in heaven. And so that heaven, that result that I want, yet Gantavya, where one has to go eventually after passing away here, that Gantavya, that is what everybody wants to go to. But the wise person knows. You can go to heaven, my dear, but heaven also is Brahma. There also ups and downs will be there. Maybe not so steep, not so much steep, valleys and, peaks and valleys won't be there. But it will be, life will be good. But that's a temporary life there also. Not Nitya. That's why somebody says, eternal heaven, you will come to eternal. Join me. I mean that me, right? This me. This me. And join me, and then you will go to heaven and be there permanently. Vedanta 101. There is no permanent heaven, there is no permanent hell. Okay? So this we have to just put that concept in the trash. Okay. So therefore that Ganthavyam Phalam. Akkada unde Brahmudu, ikkada unnadu. So that Brahma, for whom you are running after Brahma Loka and Indra Loka and all that Brahmudu is here. Same Brahmudu only is here. So you're going to, you go there and you get surprised. What? This is what the heaven is? I thought it was very different. Yeah, everybody thinks it's different, and everybody gets surprised like this. And there also Brahmaji is teaching. What is he teaching? Let's see. He's teaching Vedanta. My God. Bhagavad Gita? What happened? My God, even in on earth also they were teaching Bhagavad Gita. What happened? Yeah, this is what will happen. So there also the same Brahma Vidya only will be taught, and different texts may be there, we don't know. But Brahma Sutram will be there, Veda Vyasa may be there, we don't know. Instead of learning from somebody, you learn from Veda Vyasa. That's only difference. Okay. So therefore, yet Ganthavyam, the wise person knows that api Brahma eva. Tad api Brahma. That also is Brahma. Okay. Now let's look at the next one. And Vijayji, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Brahma karma samadhina.
Brahma karma samadhina.
Brahma eva.
Brahma eva.
Karma.
Karma.
Samma karma.
Samma karma.
Brahma karma.
Brahma karma.
Tasmin samadhihi.
Tasmin samadhihi.
Yasya saha.
Yasya saha.
Brahma karma samadhihi.
Brahma karma samadhihi.
Tena.
Tena.
Brahma karma samadhina.
Brahma karma samadhina.
Brahma eva gantavyam.
Brahma eva gantavyam.
Yeah. So he is now moved on to the last quarter of this shloka. Brahma karma samadhina. Brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. So we've seen many things already. What did we see? We saw Brahmarpanam, that by which you offer is Brahma. And then Brahma Havihi, that which you offer is also Brahma. Brahmagna, so that Agni into which you offer is also Brahma. Brahmana, Brahmana means the doer of the ritual, that person is also Brahma. Putam, the entire process is also the Kriya, the action, the process is also Brahma. Brahma eva tena gantavyam. Phalam, the result. The result of what all actions is also Brahma. Okay. So we covered what? Actions are covered by the word Hutam. The Kriya, the process is covered by Hutam. Then Karaka. Karaka means what? All the accessories required for an action to be done. You need so much to be done. There must be a person who says, I am doing it, and that person needs so many things. And so all those so many things, the fire into which some action is done for the all that is karaka. Technical word is karaka, means all the accessories that are needed for an action. So karaka, kriya means the whole process, and then phalam. Phalam means result. Every action is done with an expectation of a result. And that result is also Brahma. We saw that. Brahma eva tena gantavyam. We saw that. Yeah. Now, Brahma karma samadhina. This word, Shankara is explaining, defining. He's defining. How is he defining? Brahma eva karma, Brahma karma. Karma, the action is Brahma. Brahma karma, that part, Brahma karma means action is Brahma. Okay, that's fairly straightforward. Then tasmin samadhihi. Tasmin samadhihi means samadhi here means well ascertained understanding. Well ascertained understanding. Proper, clear understanding, clear knowledge of samadhi. Samyak adhyayate, samadhi. Okay. Clear understanding of what? Tasmin samadhi, of this vision that all action is Brahma. Because a person knows karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmaya sabuddhiman manushyesu sayukta kritsna karma krita, and all the second chapter, everything is studied. So that karma is Brahma, that vision is very clear, and so that person is called Brahma karma samadhi. So he's saying yasya saha Brahma karma samadhi. The one for whom the well ascertained, the vision of action being Brahma is well ascertained, is crystal clear, that person is called Brahma karma samadhi. That person is called Brahma karma samadhi. Okay. Okay. And therefore samadhi also means nishtha. In Sanskrit, another word is there. Nishtha. Nishtha means that steadfastness, that clarity is there. Unshakable knowledge of that karma as Brahma is there. And then what? Tena Brahma karma samadhina Brahma eva gantavya. Tena, by Brahma karma samadhina means by that person who is a Brahma karma samadhi. Okay, by that person which was just explained, Brahma eva gantavyam. Brahma alone is to be reached. Sometimes that is how it is translated. Brahma alone is to be reached. Means what? Whatever place you go to, that is Brahma. Whatever you get out of any action is also Brahma. So Shankara is concluding that here. And so this is not difficult to follow. when we go back to our understanding of Satyam and Mithya. Okay, so when you looked at the wave, and the wave is nothing but water when it was said. The pot is nothing but clay when it was said. You have to really go back to that and ask, where is the pot? Is a pot an object different from clay, or what is the relationship between pot and clay? Pot and clay are not two different objects. You cannot really separate them. So they are not two different objects. But pot and clay are not the same object either. If they were identical, same object, then you don't need two words, pot and clay. Correct? Pot and clay are not synonyms. And then you say, oh, clay is an adjective to pot. Yeah, in English, clay is an adjective to pot. Clay pot, as opposed to silver pot or a brass pot, right? So plastic pot, whatever. So clay is an adjective. But from a reality perspective, is clay an adjective or what? No, clay is not an adjective. Reality perspective. Look at that. Does pot depend on clay, or clay depends on pot? That is the question you have to ask. Whenever we get stuck like this, we have to ask, dependence, what is the relation? Does anybody depend on somebody else? Okay. So adjective, see, noun and adjective means what? Noun stands tall, and then there is an adjective that qualifies the noun. Okay, horse. And then what kind of horse? White horse, blue horse, brown horse, like that. That's an adjective. But the noun is important. Horse. First of all, you should know I'm a horse. And means I am not so many things, I'm a horse. This thing is a horse. And then, by the way, it is a brown horse. That's by the way. Adjective qualifies the noun. Important, but not as important as horse. Horse is the first thing. But here, it's exactly the opposite. Pot is important, but suppose the clay decides, okay, bye-bye, the clay says, then the pot will have to beg. You'll have to beg the clay, please don't go. If you leave, I will cease to exist. I will cease to exist. My existence depends on you, my dear clay. And so please stay back. Don't leave anywhere. And that is why when the pot breaks, the pot is gone. But the clay is not gone at all. Clay continues to be. Therefore, the clay was existent before, the clay is existent now, and even after the pot is gone, the clay will continue to exist. That means this clay is more permanent than the pot. So therefore, we have to give importance to the clay. Therefore, we should say, adjective must be pot, noun must be clay. Potted clay. Why not say potted clay? Vedanta. This is going from clay pot to potted clay is our journey. Vedanta means going from clay pot to potted clay. Correct? Correct? That's it. That is Vedanta. And so clay, you have understood that clay is permanent. And so pot depends on clay, clay does not depend on clay. That person, that wise person, Brahma Karma Samadhi, understands this very well. And therefore, he or she can say, this entire action is Brahma. The Jagat is Mithya. The world is Mithya, not non-existent. Mithya, it exists, but its existence is dependent on Satyam. Jagan Mithya, Brahma Satyam. This is a famous statement in the Upanishad. Jagan Mithya, Brahma Satyam. So, that wise person, Brahma Karma Samadhina, Brahma Eva Gantavya. And for that Brahma Karma Samadhi, he looks at Arpanam as Brahma, Brahma Arpanam. And Havihi as Brahma, Brahma Havihi. And that person looks upon oneself, the doer of the ritual, also as Brahma, Brahmana. Looks upon the entire process, the entire ritual as also Brahma, Utam. Then what? Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam. Whatever result is going to be achieved from whatever action, including this ritual, which results in some result, phalam, gantavyam, and swarga. If heaven is waiting for me, let it wait. But heaven also is Brahma. Therefore, the wise person, really speaking, will not do this ritual with the intention of going to heaven. Only the person who is a person who does not know this fact will say, I need this, I need that, I need some problems to be solved, and this and that. Therefore, I am doing the ritual. Nothing wrong with it, but we have to understand the vision between the two types of people. And why does the wise person do the ritual if the person knows all this and gained everything, and that person knows the heaven also is Brahma, earth also is Brahma, pain is Brahma, pleasure is Brahma. I'm not going to get anything out of this. I am free already. Why should that person do a ritual? Well, that is a Vedic lifestyle. Who does a ritual is defined by the ashrama, correct? Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprasthi, Sannyasi. So only the sannyasi is free from doing any rituals. Even a brahmachari has to do Sandhya Vandanadi, not a fire ritual, but Sandhya Vandanam that he has to do, Samhita Dhanam, etc. And the Grahastha and Vanaprastha have to do fire rituals. Married, if they are married, I mean, Grahastha means married, of course, they have to do fire rituals. Even if they understood all this, even if the person is a jnani, wise person, still has to do the rituals. Therefore, this was described that Grahastha Jnani, that wise person who is a Grahastha, who is a married person, that person is described in the shloka. Good. So, and Shankara wants to say more. And because of the importance of the shloka, we have understood the purport of the shloka, but there is some more he wants to say. So we will see. God willing, we will meet in the next class and then we will continue this discussion. Okay. Om Swastik Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithivi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitah Brahmanas Santu Nirbhayaha Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.